Good day, racing fans, and welcome here at the Nurburgring in Deutschland, über alles. And I'm not alone here. I'm of course with my co-commentator from KVK Racing Network, Peter Lee. Peter, welcome to the stream.
Thank you, Pim. I'm really excited to be here tonight. We're at the Nurburgring Grand Prix layout. Just a wonderful track for these Skippy, so looking forward to some great racing.
Yeah, and we're not alone. We have a special guest here in the booth. Can you tell some more about that?
Well, we have a special treat tonight because we have Raphael Bofil, we call him Rafa, who was last season's Skippy Formula 2 champion. So Rafa, hello.
Hello guys, and thank you for the invitation. It's very nice to be here with you.
Awesome. We've talked about it so many times. You're a true team member of us, and we're happy that you finally joined us here in the booth. We will ask you some typical questions about the track. But Peter, do you know anything about the track? Can you tell us something about it?
Well, yes. I think that this is really another one of these really interesting tracks. It's set up as a Formula 1 track, up to FIA standards, so it's big and wide, as you might expect. It accommodates the super fast cars like Formula 1, but it just works really well for these Skip Barber Formula 2000 cars also. It has a little bit of everything, some super technical sections, but also a couple of long straights that really allow the draft effect in these Skippies to be taken into account. And so I think we're going to see a race here that really tests which drivers can be strategic with the draft, which ones can manage their pit stops really well, and which ones can be consistent in the really tight technical sections of this course.
Yeah, and Peter, we're now looking actually at the qualification. How is the qualification going?
Well, what we're seeing here, we have open qualification, so all the cars are on track at the same time. They are all turning in their first flying laps. They get a 10-minute qualification session, and they are allowed to count up to 4 flying laps. And so they're all turning in their first laps right now. And Scott Allen is right now on the provisional pole, turning in a really great cold tire, 2 minutes, 20 seconds and a half, which is really a great time on cold tires.
Yeah, it looks an amazing track.
Yeah, we talk because you, Pim, Rafa, and I were teammates, and so we're always strategizing about qualifying. Rafa, when you have 4 laps and 10 minutes to qualify, how do you think about that? What's your strategy?
Well, my strategy, it was very different comparing you guys. I always try to go fast in the first laps. I don't know why, but always my second lap is the best one. But for me, it is it's enough. It's a great thing.
Yeah, I think the three of us were so and still are so different, because for me, I always try to have a safe first lap and then a slightly faster second lap, but then I really try to go for it in third and fourth laps. But I think both you and Pim just go all out from the get-go, and so and you always qualify better than me, so maybe I should learn something from you guys.
I think we and that's the fun thing of our team. We learn from everybody, and we learn from each other in this way. Peter, let's have a quick look at the qualification, or at standing for this championship, because there is a championship in Formula 2. But have a quick look if we can see something of the... Yes, here we have the list. I see that Alex Alton is in the lead with Christopher Daniel right behind him. And behind them it's Rusty Pontenberg on the 3rd position. So, and then we have Jake Ashe, of course, always a candidate. How's Jake doing currently in the qualification?
Well, Jake has just turned in his second flying lap, and he did improve, so he's sitting provisionally P11 right now at a 222.4. But Alex Othon, Chris Daniel, and Rusty Pottenberg are looking very racy. Alex is actually on the provisional pole at 2:19.68, which is the first driver. Oh, and Chris Daniel has just done the same thing. Now we have 2 drivers that have broken into the 2:19s in their qualifying.
2:19s. That is quite quick. I'm not sure, but I was looking into what we can expect for our race in Formula 1, but I wasn't expecting these times in Formula 2 already.
It's pretty darn impressive. If you think about it, in 10 minutes, really, in these Skip Barber cars, your tires don't really get fully up to temperature. And so to break into the mid 2:19s is pretty impressive.
But I do have to say, if you look at the complete field, we basically are from 2:19 to 2:22. So very closely up here. This is going to be an exciting race.
Yeah. Well, and you know, there could be some incidents. There are 2 main passing opportunities on this track. One is at the end of the front straight, going into turn 1. Turn 1 is a hairpin called the Yokohama Hairpin. And it's one of these hairpins with a very wide Formula 1 style entry. So it just invites 2 wide and even 3 wide entries into that hairpin. And so bad things can happen. And then on the back straight is an even longer straight that's all downhill, going from turn 12, going into a chicane, which is turns 14 and 15. And that chicane is another Formula 1 style chicane that with these little Skip Barber cars, you will very likely see 2 cars going side by side through the chicane. And again, that just invites incidents. But drivers will be pretty desperate to try to make passes, since those are really the only 2 opportunities on this track.
Yeah, we do see that now. The whole people are all driving at the same distance over here. Look at this. We drive along with Rich Butler. Does that matter now, the draft that he can get from all these cars in front of him?
I think it should. I mean, Rafa, you were always such a great qualifier in Skippy Formula 2 when you won the season championship. Were you actively trying to find the draft while you were qualifying?
Yeah, it is possible, but I think I'll try to go alone all the time. I don't know why, but I felt more comfortable.
Yeah, you're less dependent than all the other drivers with your own speed. And I do have to say, Rafa, you were always very quick. So that helps a lot in that way. For me, it was personally trying to hold on to one of you guys and see how far we can get. I do see that the qualification has finished. So the people that are driving around now are just having some fun and probably practicing some last minute changes. But we do see that Alex Alton is on the lead. Man, that guy is close to an alien on that time. 2:19.6.
Yeah, that's a fantastic lap time. And then Chris Daniel is just 2/10 behind him at 2:19.8. And then right just a tenth behind Chris is Barry Stockdale at a 2:20 flat. And so those are 3 really good times and just very, very close to each other. You know, Pim, it's great to see Barry Stockdale, who's been an SF2 regular for since the beginning, since the very first season for Skippy Formula 2. He's just been coming on so strong as of late, really showing a lot of speed. He's had a little bit of bad luck with incidents on track in the races, but boy, he is turning in some fast lap times.
Yeah, it's funny to see Rusty Pontenberg, same thing. Guys, is so steady right now. Is really driving some quick laps, not only here in SF2 but also in SF1, which I always felt like you got to be a little bit tiring after such a big race. We do see that I think everybody goes back to the pits, get ready. Maybe the last pit stop for themselves to make sure that. They're ready for the start of this race. It's funny, I do see that the timing is already finished, but we still don't see any results coming up.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing. It's a little bit confusing. I'm not too sure what's going on. It is showing everyone's finished with qualifying, but the qualifying session is still open, and so I'm not too sure what's going on with that. But we'll get the grid set up. While we're talking about that, there's sort of from the start, we'll see the first danger as the entire field comes in and does some really hard braking going into the Yokohama Hairpin right in turn 1. So, right from the get-go, we're just going to have to watch to see if all of these cars can get through that first turn right at the start safely.
Well, I'm confident that we're going to do that. Did you saw the review sheet from last week?
I didn't. What did it show?
It showed only 3 major incidents or major incidents. So basically nothing. And you could see that also in the track. What we had was a beautiful race, that first lap, seeing all those cars. We do have the scores right up, the grid right now up. Scott Allen is on the first position with number 2 on the 2:19.44. After him is Alex Alton on the second position. Chris Daniel, number 3, and Barry Stockdale on our fourth position. Rusty Pontenberg on the 5th position, as always in that Willy Wonka racing car. Nate Struels, number 6, moved up quite a bit. I'm curious to see what we can expect from him in this race. And then we see Dan Pagowski, Jake Ashe, Rich Butler, Joe Zubo, and Justin Divin is back on that 11th position. And Melody changed on the position number 12. Let's have a look if we see any other drivers.
Looks like Greg Montgomery did not qualify, but he is showing that he'll be in the field. And so Craig Montgomery then is in the position P13.
Oh, great. Yeah, now I also see my own name. Probably logged in wrong. Rookie mistake. Hey, Rafa, we told you not to do that. I think that's what I did. But good all that we at least can start this race. I'm curious to see if there are already some cars back on the track. And there are. Look at that.
It looks like a full grid.
Oh,
Boy, Rafa, you were used to being in the front row in these races. You must get nervous in the first braking zone just with knowing the entire field is behind you. Do you ever worry about getting punted at the start?
Yeah, for sure. But I am trying to see the temperature of the track, and it's 20 Celsius degrees. So I think it's...
All right, guys. Lights are off. Look at this, and we're going off. Alex Alton takes that first position. I do see some movements there in the back. We're going to see if there's any...
You're going to see the... Yes, you can see this incredibly wide entry into this hairpin.
Look at this, Rusty going for that inside. Beautiful. Look at how many lines there are in this track.
Everyone's gotten through the Yokohama hairpin cleanly, and now we're entering into this set of Yokohama S Curves. Very important to get a good exit out of these S curves because it really takes you into now the Ford curves, which is a really fun high-speed third gear left-hander and a super technical right-hander.
Oh, and look at that! There goes Barry Stockdale. He goes off track, doesn't hurt anybody, but that was a small mistake he had over there. And that immediately means that Scott Allen, Alex Alton, and Chris Daniel are a little bit running away over here. With the three of them, look at that.
I think everyone behind Barry had to lift the throttle, and so that's given those top 3 runners a big gap now.
Yeah, and it looks like
Schumacher
Alex Alton is really close by Scott Allen on the moment over there. Showing that he can have that speed and he's not worried about it. Look at that, even they go too wide.
Now here they're going to come out of turn 12, and this is this long downhill straight, and just expect to see lots of drafting and side-by-side, exactly like what we're seeing here. And this little kink is basically not a turn for these Skippies. And look at that draft effect. And now they're going to come into this turn 14-15 chicane. And just very, very dangerous, but lots of too wide action. Looks like they'll go through single file on lap 1 here.
Yeah, and I do think that Chris
and
Daniel...
we have a spin. It looks like maybe, is that Dan Pagowski?
No, I think it's Nate Strules that we see go wrong. It does have Dan Pagowski right behind him, and Dan Pagowski is the one that gives a little bit of a nudge, and there goes Dan Pagowski then as well. Oh, that was a big crash, big consequences for Nate Strules and Dan Pagowski.
So what we saw is on cold tires, everyone got through turn 1, which is the first kind of danger zone in this track, cleanly. Although it looks like now there is an issue possibly, but then they couldn't quite get all through turn 14, turn 15 chicane, which is the other danger zone on this track.
No, so we're driving along here with Alex Alton. Looking in the back, we see Scott Allen and Chris Daniel really getting a little bit close. Chris Daniel is fighting with Scott Allen.
So Rafa, when you were in a race like this, like how many laps did you have to do before you felt that the car was comfortable and the tires were up to temperature?
Oh, and here we go. Jack Ashe make the small mistake over there. Sorry, guys. Jake Ashe was sliding along, and Melody is trying to get along. Look at this. There are like 6 of them.
Boy,
Rich Butler.
That is a swarm.
Rich Butler is looking in that inside. Look at that. Melody change. Is he going to make a move? No, she can't hold that. And Rich Butler takes an awesome move over here.
Yeah, that was a great. And then now Craig Montgomery is right behind. Oh, Melody looks like has gotten back.
Yes, he takes that in corner really well. If she can do that one more time, she's there. But now suddenly we have those Craig Montgomery, Just Divin, and Joe Zubo right over there. Everybody tries to benefit of this. Oh! I'm not sure which camera I need to use with that many cars.
I know, but here when they come down, they're all going to funnel down now this back straight. All 5 of these cars coming into the chicane. We'll have to see like who has the courage to outbrake whom as they come in. And this is really the hardest braking zone in the entire track.
Oh, look at this, Craig Montgomery. Oh, Craig Montgomery, and oh no. Yeah,
like
that's something Justin Devon saw coming, and he is trying to avoid that. But that's going to hurt for Joe Zubo.
Yeah. Well, we predicted that right in that chicane, and you could see, you know, if you are careful enough, you could actually do that too wide. They couldn't quite do it that time, but it is possible.
And look at that, Melody Change is now in front, and Justin Divin is nearly locking his brakes. And there goes suddenly Greg Montgomery, takes that a different line, and is on that inside. They can defend on Justin Divin, and is making a spot up there. But Melody Change is really the big winner over here on that 6th position.
Yeah, Melody did a classic over-under there, and really took the better line through that Yokohama Hairpin.
Yeah, we see Justin Devon fighting over there with Craig Montgomery. And they're basically all fighting each other.
So back up front, it does look like Alex Othon, Scott Allen, and Chris Daniel are really running away now. They have about a 7-second lead over Rusty Pottenberg, who is running in P4, and Jake Ashe, and maybe another 2 seconds of drift running in P5. But you're absolutely right. I think the real racing action is happening back with the pack starting at P6, led by Melody Chance.
Look at that, we're driving along here with Rich Butler. We see Justin Divin fighting with Joe Zubo over here. And Justin is making it work over here, taking that inside line.
As they come around turn 12, this is basically this long downhill back straight. And this is draft central for these skippies. And you're just going to see them close up as they go through this little full throttle kink and into this turn 14 chicane.
Yeah, and when they are fighting over here, then that's also good for Melody Chains, because she's really gaining a little bit on this big group. Oh, and we do see Montgomery goes in.
Yeah, the pit window is open. These cars are have fuel restrictions that will require 2 pit stops for refueling. And the first, for anyone that wants. In fact, we see several cars in the pits right now. Alex Othon also. Craig Montgomery, Rusty Pondberg, Jake Ashe.
Jake Ashe, I would have expected it, but Rusty Pontenberg there as well. And we do see Justin Dubin making a small mistake, why Rich Butler can take advantage of that.
Looks like Nick Strules has had an off in turn 16. I can't tell if he has any damage there.
Well, let's have a quick look. He goes there a little bit too quick, and no, doesn't look like he has any damage. We'll have to rebalance his car a little bit.
Yeah.
I do see that
a little light. Yep.
Joe Zubel has made the move to Melody Change and is now 0.3 seconds behind. So maybe they can work together and run away from the group behind them. But a strong performance so far from these two drivers.
Yeah, they're running a great race right now and running in P4 and P5. And then just behind them, this group of Rich Butler, Justin Diven, Barry Stockdale running P6, P7, P8. That's another tight pack.
This is a very tight pack. Look at that. And Rich has to defend everywhere he goes. But Justin Devon can take that one right now. And he will do that. Look at that. Nicely move, and immediately a move from Barry Stockdale as well. But he can't hold that. Whoa.
Wow.
Hey, Rafa, what do you think of this driving?
It's so exciting. I don't know how can do that with that rear wing. I think he lost, right? He lost it, yep. the rear wing. Or is my vision?
Who are we talking about? Oh, you're right. I do see that right now as well. I didn't see that before, but Rich is defending with Alton. Look at that. Oh, good move.
Wow, that is impressive. I didn't notice that either, and that's I think on these Skippies.
We have news from the top. We see that Alex Alton has crashed over here. Oh, Alex Alton together with Scott Allen. We're a little bit too close over there. Oh, I want to see.
Look at that. Yeah.
I want to see that one more time.
Yeah. Oh.
What happened over here?
It looks to me like they both overcooked it coming into turn 1. And,
well, I do see that Scott Allen was a little bit too much in there.
Yeah, but I don't know that either one of them would have made that corner. That Yokohama Hairpin, it slopes away. It's off camber. They both look very hot coming into that corner.
Yeah, and the big winner on that is Chris Daniel, because he's now running comfortably in that first position.
Boy, is he ever. He has like an 18 or 19 second lead now over Joe Zuber running in P2. Melody Chen's running in P3.
Yeah, that's suddenly a complete different race, and Joe Zuber wouldn't mind this. Look at that, always Joe Zuber, want to thank him for our results that he always creates for us, but currently on that second position, 19 seconds behind Chris Daniel. And Melody Chains right behind there.
Boy, yes, and then, that group of Rich Butler, Barry Stockdale, Justin Diven, they're lurking right behind, that podium, that provisional podium, and so I think this first set of pit stops for these drivers is going to be super meaningful.
Yeah, but Peter, this has big consequences for our standings. If you look at it right now, Alex Alton was on the first position. He is now in the pit. I'm not sure if he's actually coming back. While we do see that Melody Change is now coming into the pit as well. But Chris Daniel can definitely make up those 7 points that he's behind. And he could take the lead.
Yeah.
Rusty Pontenberg, where's Rusty? Rusty currently on the 8th position.
Yeah, this is going to be big, and you know, with Melody Chance coming into the pits, we'll also get a chance to see if there is an undercut impact at this track, because we'll want to see how she comes out in comparison to Joe Zubo and Barry Stockdale.
Yeah, we're driving along here with Rusty Pontenberg and Jake Ashe. I don't think they're really fighting with each other, trying to boost each other's and help each other with that draft. Jake is getting really close to Rusty, currently on that 6th position.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, you know that incident between the race leaders, Alex Upton and Scott Allen. You know, it's you know, one thing that can happen is the person in front can feel a lot of pressure to brake late because you know that the person behind you has the draft advantage. But then the person with the draft advantage can be misjudging their braking point because they have a lot more speed there. And you know, boy, I have to say they looked very, very fast.
Yeah, Peter, I'm looking actually at the times for the pit stops, and Rusty Pontenberg together with Nate Strules had the shortest pit stop, 8.9 seconds they were in the pit. And then Melody had 12.2 seconds, so it seems that they are filling up quite a lot longer than the first two guys. Maybe that says something.
Yeah. Well, the cars that haven't pitted yet are Chris Daniel, Joe Zubo, Barry Stockdale, Rich Butler, and Dan Pogowski, and they're running P1 through 5. And so of the cars that have pitted, Rusty Pontenberg right now is in the lead. And so it will be very interesting to see where Chris Daniel, who is now in the pits, comes out with respect to Rusty Pontenberg.
Yeah, so Chris Daniel is into that pit, and look at how slow that is compared to what we're driving. I see Joe Zubo also goes to the pit.
Formula 1 pit lanes are so painful.
Yeah, and we do see a lot more people going into the pits. Joe Zubo, Barry Stockdale, Rich Butler, Dan Pogowski. And that means that Jake Ashe will be our first guy to have a look at that. But Chris Daniel is already out.
Yeah, and comfortably
maintaining
the lead. Yep.
If you can see, Christopher Daniel was very smart in the first laps. He was trying to not overtake the other first drivers, and it's like he was trying to avoid that contact, and now he's in the first place. So I think it was a very good strategy.
It's such a good point, Rafa, and that kind of patience, I think. You know, in a race like this, it's hard to learn because you always feel like you want to race and get the positions, huh?
Yeah, just have a quick look at the overview from where Jake was actually passing Rusty Pontenberg. Took that inside line or that outside line very nicely. Rusty couldn't do much about that.
Oh, that was beautifully done by Jake. Oh no, it looks like, I thought Jake was going to lose it in turn 7, but he just
he's not losing it right now, but that does give a chance for Rusty Pontenberg to get really in there. And here in that hairpin, defending hard.
What's going to be interesting here, in a way, you know, Jake and Rusty should want to work together to try to close up the gap to Chris Daniel. I don't know if they'll actually cooperate that way. But, you know, especially as they come around turn 11, 12, when they come out of turn 12, that's that long back straight. If they draft with each other, they'll have an advantage because Chris Daniel is all by himself and doesn't have a draft benefit.
Oh, no, and I do see that Jake Ashe is gaining a little bit on Chris Daniel. So it seems, but I can also understand Chris Daniel driving in the front all by himself. you don't have to get that pressure. What do you do, Rafa, when you're that much ahead? Are you taking it a lot easier?
Yeah, sometimes I don't know if psychological effect, but for me at least, I need to get with other driver fighting.
Yeah.
I don't know why, man, but it's very interesting that.
Yeah.
I know it is.
I just wanted to interject that just out of turn 12, Justin Diven had a pretty big off track and lost 2 positions. So now he's running P9 behind Nate Strules and Dan Pagowski, who got around him because of that.
I do have to say that car looks awesome here in this early morning in Nurburgring. That sun really makes that car shine of Justin Diven.
Yeah. Don't you think everyone in this league has upped their games with respect to the paint jobs on their cars? These cars just look all great to me.
No, they look awesome. I'm actually looking right now at Melody Change. She's back on that 6th position. 1.5 seconds from Barry Stockdale. So I'm not sure. We were talking about the undercut. Does that undercut really work? I don't see it that much.
No, it doesn't look like it. You know, last week the undercut effect was so powerful that it doesn't seem to have as much of an effect here.
But on the other hand, Jake Ashe, was he like 8th? He's now suddenly up there in the 6th position, in the 2nd position, moved up 6 spots.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Hey, and if you see Jake and Rusty are doing different lines, I think Jake is taking a little bit wide the curves.
You're right. You know, he seems to favor a later apex than Rusty. Rusty turns in a little bit earlier. Yeah. Interesting. Wow, Rusty's going to get a good draft here coming down the hill into the chicane. I don't think he'll be able to get overlap before the chicane, but he really did close up the gap because of the draft. Oh, he's going to try.
Yeah, he's going. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah. Looks a little bit like Brazil, the first corner, and he just dives into there. And immediately Jake Ashe is behind there. Look at that, how close they are.
Yeah. And so we're seeing again that turn 14, 15 chicane is really, I think it's the best passing opportunity on the whole track. You know, it's
and is he going to dive now in here to the inside? Well, because he has to jump.
It's the second best passing opportunity coming here into the Yokohama Hairpin.
No, he's taking the outside. He takes the outside over here.
Yeah. I think Rusty also might have been covering the inside a little bit just to defend. I see Nate Strules is coming to the pits, so he'll be the first driver coming in for his second refueling stop. And the final pit window is open for all these drivers.
I do have to say that that is quite early. I was expecting Jake Ashe to go in as first one. I'm happy to report that Alex Alton is driving again. So great to see him back on the track, and I also see that Scott Allen is right behind him as well. A little bit more distance between those guys, which I think is good for them both.
Yes. Well, they can't afford to give up. They need to collect as many points as possible because there's a serious battle at the top with Chris Daniel and Rusty Ponberg, who are running P1 and P2 right now.
It is, and I think it's funny that and while we see that Jake Ashe is really pushing that car, nearly dropped out of that chicane over there, but can hold that car. And while we were talking about...
he almost violated the first rule of our team, Pim and Rafa. Our first rule is do not touch the grass.
Yeah, and I think he touched it many different times. I have a feeling that Jake Ashe will go in very quickly, because I'm not sure if he feels comfortable right behind Rusty Pontenberg. Look at it. Looks on that long line, but Rusty defends really well.
Yeah, you could really see Rusty looks like they both will go into the pits together.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's probably a smart move by both drivers. If you think
Oh,
about it.
look at this! Look at this! Oh, what a move from Jake Ashe. Oh, I think he was past there. He was past there. Look at that.
Yeah.
All right, I wanna see that one in the replay.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to see who comes out now. This is so aggressive and strategic, and so I was going to say for Russ, he wants to take the draft. Yeah.
Yeah, Jake stopped earlier than Rusty, so. Oh,
And we do see that Jake takes the lead over here, or is it Rusty that can hold it? No, Jake takes the lead.
Wow.
Oh, that's a great move, and we do see Melody change in the back as well. Fighting with who's that? That's not Dan Pogowski behind.
So you guys, I just wanted to say, one of the great things about Skippy Formula 2, I felt for all three of us. Oh, it does look like Rusty's going outside on turn 3 and making the pass on the outside over Jake Ashe.
Right, let's have a quick look how that went. This looks like, hey, is that not an illegal move?
Well, it's an off track, and it's.
I was just gonna say like that.
That
All right, let's have a quick look how that looked from the car.
Yeah. So Rafa, what do you think about that? Do you think that was a legal pass?
I don't know.
Oh, but
you can see what important is a good pit entry, eh? He can get a great exit, but sadly for him, Rusty Palmberg recovered his place.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey guys, I want to think about Joe Zubo, who currently drives on the first position. Chris Daniel right behind him.
Yeah, super interesting here. Chris is actually, I think he's getting a benefit of Joe's draft. Chris might, because Joe is pretty fast, and at least
Joe is pretty fast, yes.
Yeah.
But I do see
with Daniel Pawlowski's it's entry to the pits. So let's see what will happen.
Yeah.
I know Dan is a good pit stop driver. He will do this perfectly fine.
And Melody Chance, of course, is a rookie here in Skippy Formula 2, and so for her, pit stops are a little bit of a newer skill. In fact, we had to really learn a lot.
Look at that! Look at Jake Ashe right there driving over there. Is going into the pit. A little bit unexpected. And I also see Alex Alton is suddenly really quick there as well. Scott Allen, they're basically back into the race, or is that just me?
That is incredible, actually.
Look at this. Melody changes it. Oh! Melody changes it.
Yeah.
Just behind Dan Pogowski. We see Barry Stockdale going in front of them. Or is that... Yeah, that's Barry Stockdale.
Yeah, yep. So we have Joe Zubo still in the lead ahead of Chris Daniel. Chris Daniel seems just very happy just to stay behind Joe, knowing that Joe has to make a pit stop.
All right, just to make sure, we have only Joe Zubo that, together with Rich Butler, that didn't do a second pit stop. Otherwise, basically the whole pack is back together. Maybe we can see that better on the track map. But this will be an interesting fight. And is Chris Daniel already going to take over, or is he just going to wait till Joe Zubo leaves?
Yeah, it's a good question, but I would think that he will be happy to stay behind Joe, knowing that he has about a 19-second lead over Rusty Pottenberg, who is running provisionally in P2 amongst the drivers who have made both of their refueling stops. So, if Chris is seeing that Rusty isn't making up time on him, I think, and it looks like Joe Zubo has gone into the pits now.
Yeah, he's going into the pit, so that means that Chris Daniel needs to do it all by himself. I am curious where Joe Subo is going to finish, or at least coming out of the pit. Is he going to pass, is he going to come out before Rich Butler?
Right.
And I don't think so, because Rich is already on the straight. Goes past quite quick right now, and I don't think Joe Subo has the chance to recover from that.
Yeah. And even Rusty Pondberg is going to get past here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the best tactic over here. And it now suddenly Rich Butler is in that second position. And pretty stable, I have to say.
Yeah, Rich is running a great race, actually. He still has to make a second refueling stop, but he's right now sitting P2 and up 7 positions from where he qualified. Meanwhile,
yeah.
Chris Daniel just serenely, in the lead. He's up now 20 seconds over Rusty Pottenberg.
Yeah, Rusty is driving his own race over here, is on that third position. 6 seconds away from Rich Butler, but 9 seconds away from Joe Subo. So that's got to be really comfortable.
Meanwhile, running back in P10 and P11 are Alex Othon and Scott Allen, who had that incident. They were in the race lead, and then they had the incident, so now they're running P10, P11, but they've been stuck together like glue this entire race.
Yeah, what do you do then? Rafa, how do you do that? You made a big incident. I'm not sure you don't have that many incidents. And then you meet that guy again on the track. How do you handle that?
When I rejoin to the, are you meaning? When
you make an incident and then you meet the same guy that you wrecked, basically.
I try to go with all out. Always.
I think I hear on the radio a lot of swearing in Spanish.
Well, it's an interesting fight for sure, but currently Alex Alton is winning it. Scott Allen is not pushing that hard, knows what happens when that goes. Let's have a quick look at Dan Pagowski on the 7th position, because he's quite close to Nate Strules. And why I say that, we see Rich Butler going into the pit.
And so that would be Rich's second refueling stop, and so that means the entire field is all set for fuel after Rich refuels.
Yeah, but Rich needs to go in very shortly, because we're only 5 or 6 minutes left, so he wouldn't have to fuel that much anymore, and that is an advantage. But currently we do see more people coming over. Is Nate Strules also going to get him? No. Rich Butler is out. So ready to go to finish off these laps.
Yeah, and so this is a fairly long track for the Skip Barber car. So I think we now have less than 3 laps to go. And so you have to be strategic here if you're in a battle like Nate Strules and Dan Pagowski, or Rich Butler and Melody Chance. These, or Alex Othon, Scott Allen. These 2-car battles. You probably are thinking that you want to be the car right behind on the last lap, so that you can have a chance to use the draft to get ahead on the last lap and not be passed back.
But do you really want to wait till the last lap? Because you've been doing this now the whole time. And while I say that, we do see that Scott Allen is getting really close to Alex Alton. Is he going to make a move? I think he's going to wait. He learned from that mistake.
I don't know. Rafa, how did you think about this? On a draft-heavy track like this, did you think about waiting until the last lap, or what? What was going through your mind?
I think he had to be smart and try to overtake in the last lap, I think.
Yeah.
Well, currently we see small mistakes happening, while we only have one fight up, and that's Scott Allen with Alex Alton. Our position, our number 1 and 2 when we started the race, are now fighting for number 10 position.
Chris Daniel has just crossed the start-finish line, so I'm pretty certain that he has just 2 laps to go.
And look at that. And Chris Daniel really showed himself in this race by waiting for Alex Alton and Scott Allen. Didn't make any moves and is 21 seconds ahead. Look at that. That's a big lead he has over here.
Boy, it sure is. He's just been driving a flawless race. He's lapping in the 219s, the mid 219s, which is really fast. I'm sure it's still, a conservative time for him, but he hasn't put a foot wrong yet this entire race.
But if you look at the times overall, everybody is really quick. They've been improving quite a bit in this race.
Meanwhile, on the front straight, Scott Allen and Alex Alton are battling like crazy.
All right, and here we go. Here we go again.
Lewis Hamilton.
It does look a little bit like that.
That's really the exciting battle on the track right now, because the rest of the drivers are pretty much strung out now. Maybe Barry Stockdale is still hunting down Joe Zubo for that final podium spot.
Well, yeah, then he has to make a little bit more speed. But he does actually. If you look at it, he's actually getting into the draft.
Yeah.
And mentioning that it's only 2 more laps, that this could be a good opportunity to get a lot closer. And like Rafa said, get that podium on the last lap. He is really setting him up, that busy bee.
Yeah, and so basically, this turn 11, turn 12 complex is where so much time is gained and lost. And this is where if you can get a good launch here out of turn 12, it's this long downhill back straight, and you just get so much draft here. It's if you can set someone up on that exit of turn 12, you really have a chance in the chicane here in turn 14 to make a pass. And so what's got to be going through Barry Stockdale's mind is, okay, I'm going to get the white flag this time around. I've got to set this up and make the pass right there on the last lap.
Well, he's gaining right now in every sector, so this will be very quick for him. This will be a great opportunity to do an overtake. He is sitting on that back.
He's looking inside. Looks like Joe is going to cover the inside.
Well, then he goes to the outside.
Here's an over-under opportunity.
He's trying to make a move.
Oh.
This is the battle for P3.
Oh, look at this. He nearly hits him, but Joe is defending for his life. He wants to be on that podium. Takes a really slow inside line over here, and that means that Barry has a move.
It's okay to be slow on that left-hander because you really want this right-hander to be fast. And so to set that up, it's no trouble at all to be slow there.
Look at this, and Barry Stockdale has moved a lot of time up here.
Oh, these guys are pushing so hard. They're going to come up here now through the Schumacher S's. These are some of the most kind of fun courses. You go through this Dunlop Hairpin as they come around. And again, this is another hairpin. You just want to get this just right. There's camber on the inside where Barry Stockdale is. You can get a good launch out into the Schumacher S's. You can really start to set things up for that back straight.
Yeah, and they don't have that much time anymore. If you look at it, we only have 1 more lap to go.
Yep.
And Chris Daniel is going into his last corner over here. Look at that. Beautiful, solid race. Takes that last corner.
And here is now the last chance for Barry Stockdale coming out of turn 12. This is a long back straight. He should get a good draft effect here. And it all comes down to who can outbrake whom coming into this final chicane.
Well, we do see Rusty Pontenberg right in front of them. He's going to have an easy time to get on this podium, but Joe Zubo needs to work for it very hard. Look at this, Barry Stockdale. Looks like he's a little bit too far, but can he plunge himself into this last corner? Is this going to be... Looks like Joe Zubo is a little bit outside, but so is Barry Stockdale, and that's not going to help.
Oh, what a great battle.
Nice job for Joe Zubo on that podium. And now we're waiting for Dempagowski. Wright coming up here. And then Rich Butler.
Great P7 finish coming up here for Melody Chance.
Yeah, and then the fight with Scott Allen and Alex Alton. And Scott Allen has won that pass. So in the last straight, he actually overtook him. Let's have a quick look at that last overtake. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Those guys, they're making a fun race over here.
Yeah, beautiful.
So that was our race for the first time. Let's have a quick look at the end results. Unofficial, but Chris Daniel is the winner of this Sunday night Skippy League Formula 2. Rusty Pontenberg, Willy Wonka Racing, 27 seconds behind, but that doesn't matter. It gives him the second position. Very important for the championship. And Joe Zubo on that third spot. Congratulate him with that one. All right. Exciting race. Rafa, what do you thought of it?
Yeah, I was hearing the voice chat of the drivers, and it seems there is a good spirit and good competition. So congratulations for the podium, but after all, for all of drivers, congratulations as well.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. Well, we're going to take a small break. We're going to be back in, I think, 5-10 minutes because we do have one more race coming up. And that is the Formula 1 Skippy night, Sunday night Skippy League. So see you after the break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back at yet another race here at Nurburgring. We're gonna have a look at the Formula 1 Skippy race. Peter, is the qualification already started?
Yes. We're 3 minutes into the 10-minute qualification session, and drivers will have 10 minutes, and they are allowed to count as many as 4 flying laps, and the fastest lap, of course, sets the qualifying order.
Yeah, so that's different in the Formula 2, where they actually drive all together. This is everybody is lonely on the track. You don't have any draft.
That's right. And so, it really is all about how fast can you go? How can you manage your cold tires on this track? We have a cold track, only 65 degrees Fahrenheit. So you'll want to get your tires up to temperature as quickly as possible and try to set a perfect lap.
Yeah, so maybe let's have a quick look at any fast drivers who are driving out. I see Adam Wright up here. Can you take us along with a course of him?
Sure. As we watch Adam Wright, he's coming out of the back technical section, turn 12, and coming down what is amounting to the long back straight, which is this long downhill, all the way coming downhill into the best passing zone in the entire track, which is this turn 14-15 chicane. And in fact, we will certainly see these Skip Barber cars going too wide through that chicane as they try to pass each other. And then the final corner, turn 16, the Coca-Cola hairpin, dumps you out onto the front straight. And so here we'll get to see a flying lap as Adam crosses the start-finish line. As you come down the front straight, you'll enter into the second best passing zone on the entire track, which is a hard braking zone for turn 1, which is the Yokohama hairpin. You'll see a lot of too wide, a lot of over and under kinds of maneuvers, and then a turn 3-4 complex here. What's really important here is people will sacrifice entry into turn 3, where Adam is now, in order to get a good launch out of turn 4. This really sets you up for speed for the entire back technical section of this track. As you come down now to turn 6 and 7. Turn 6 is this really fun high-speed third gear left-hander, and then coming into turn 7, the so-called forward curve, a beautiful camber right in the inside, and then you want to launch all the way into the next hairpin, which is known as the Dunlop Hairpin, or turn 8. This is perhaps the most important hairpin in the whole course, because this sets you up for yeah, and so that will really ruin a lot, because here you just need to get such a great launch going up this long hill through the Schumacher S's, turns 9 and 10. Incredibly fun to drive in these Skip Barber cars. And then maybe the most dangerous curves here, turns 11 and 12. Expect to see some people lose it, touch a little bit too much of the grass, spin off there in turn 11. And then turn 12, the exit is so important here because it sets you up for the long downhill back straight where we started with Adam.
Hey Peter, and I also, when I look through the field, I see some new drivers, actually some old drivers coming back. Sammy Bridge, the pizza car, is back on track over here. Great to see him here in this race again.
Oh, that is awesome. He's been away for a little while, but it's great to see him back. Fantastic.
I'm curious if he is going to set a time or not. Currently, we have 25 people who set a time, but there are some more drivers over here. See that Joshua.
We have Rafa Bofil here, and just before the broadcast for SF1 started, we were just talking about the rigors of racing in Skippy Formula 2 and Skippy Formula 1. Rafa, how did you feel after doing a Skippy Formula 2 race, and now you have to jump right into Skippy Formula 1 right after?
Peter, are you speaking too much faster for me? Sorry, man. You know the rules.
Well,
but,
that's
I can say something, but it will be a very tight race between the first places if you are seeing the time. So it will be very interesting to see it.
Yeah, I think you're right. Boy, look, the first 8 cars right now that have turned in times are all in the 218s. Boy.
They're amazing. But also have a quick look at the timing for our championship. Because also up here we have a very tight championship, and Leo Oktarov is still ahead. I'm amazed how many incidents he can have and he can still be ahead. That does mean he can recover quite quickly. We see Adam Wright on the 2nd position, and then Mike Bowers and Geoffrey Decker right behind there. Joshua Dancy on the 5th place. Peter Notwell, Carl Dronke, Michael McLeod on that 8th position. So a lot of gain over here. Let's have a quick look, because what we always forget is the teams. Let's have a quick look at the team standing. 2 nice guys. I know that Leo is one of those 2 nice guys. He is taking the lead. And then we have on the 2nd position the back of the pack Racing with 13 points deficit. So that can be quite close. And then Shake and Bake on the 3rd position. We don't talk much about the teams.
Yeah, but it's a tight battle in the team championship. The standings are so close. It's just hard to predict how it's going to work out by the end of the season.
Oh yeah, no, and we're driving ourselves in a league and do also the team points, and it does give a little bit of an extra feeling that you know why you're driving for. You're not just driving for yourself, but also for the team. And Rafa, how do you feel that driving in a team with us?
Yeah, I think it's like I don't know how do you say, but like a motor engine. It's like an engine or a power for me to trying to make a great race.
Yeah, no, that's exactly how I feel it, and you're most of the times ahead of us. But then I feel like I can't let you down, and at least need to finish the best way possible. But it gives an extra feeling, and also in practice, it can definitely help you when you're practicing together. I do see that the grid is here, so let's have a quick look. Leo Oktarov on the 1st position. Oh, he's from Shake and Bake. 2 nice guys. So he is from the 2 nice guys. Okay. And then we see Mike Bowers on the 2nd position. 1/10 slower from Pop and the Shop. Geoffrey Decker, of course, 3rd position. Gurken de Meer moved up quite a bit and is on that 4th position, while Jeff Snavely is 5th. And Michael McLeod on that 6th position. He's been banging on the door, Peter. But Michael McLeod is slowly getting into that top 10.
Yeah, in fact, I think he's pretty much a top 10 regular right now in terms of pace, and so this might be his best qualifying effort.
Yeah, and not forget about Peter Notwell on the 7th, Carl Dronke on the 8th, Max, of course, 9th, and then Scott Bell on the 10th position. But I do have sad news for our Scott Bell fans, because Scott Bell has a penalty, as I've seen in the incident review. So I do think that he will pit. But at least he has a good starting position over there. We see Adam Wright with that small mistake in the qualification on the 11th position. And then JR Hoops from Shake and Bake on the 12th position. Let's see if we can find
in fact, JR Hoops in 12th, the top 12 drivers are all qualified within 1 second of each other. And in fact, looking at this, the top 20 drivers are all within 2 seconds of each other, and so it's a really tight field and very fast.
Yeah, we see Matt Zepka coming back on the 18th position, so I'm curious about how he will handle. Let's have a quick look if we're already going back on the track. I do see that we're already on.
Looks like the cars are starting to grid up. And we have a total of 32 drivers in the field. And so in contrast to Skippy Formula 2, this is a pretty big field. And so we'll really want to watch out, especially turn 1 on cold tires. The turn kind of 2, 3, 4 complex on cold tires is also pretty slick. And then as cars set up in turns 11 and 12 for that long back straight, and then that final chicane. in the first
All right.
lap or will be very
Peter, the
dangerous.
lights are going on, so we are ready to go. This is going to be exciting first corner. I'm really curious what's going to happen, and we do see them going off right now. Leo Oktarov on that first position. Mike Bauer straight behind him. After that, Geoffrey Decker. Everybody is double lining in each other over here. But currently it looks all safe. I do see a couple of people going on the inside. Scott Bell takes a safe route over there next to Carl Dronke. See Jake Ashe in the back a little bit having some difficulties, but so far everything goes easily by.
So far everyone's coming through clean. Oh, it looks like we do have
Oh, that was Gurken
Two
and Meer.
accidents.
Gurken and Meer, and immediately also Adam Wright was in there. Adam Wright can get his car back, but he did have damage. Oh, that is immediately a big shock. We see the big first cars are really driving away now.
Yeah. I wonder if Gurken Demir has some damage. He is still on track, but he's not looking too fast right now.
Oh,
so
what happened over there? Gurken de Meer. There was a lot of action going on. Scott Bell nearly got touched, but can avoid all the damage.
Well, it
Wow.
didn't look like there was any contact for Gurken Demir by another car, but he just lost the rear end and was, unfortunately, just caused some damage. So he'll definitely have to come into the pits for repair, but I think he can do it under his own power.
Alright, so where are we? Leo Oktarov still ahead, Mike Bauer straight ahead over there, and Geoffrey Decker a little bit of a gap. And then Jeff Snavely and Michael McLeod is up to that 5th position, Peter Notwell 6th position, and immediately Carl Dronke and J.R. Hoop. So they all gained over here.
Oh man, look at Sean Tetriak with Jason.
Wow, yes. So they're running really hard back in P18, and there's some really good battling there.
Well, it's up here, and Sammy Bridges is right beside there as well. Curious to see if they're going to take it 4 wide. Sammy Bridges take the outside. I do see Chris and Sean is taking the inside. You can take so many different tracks over here.
Yeah, that turn 1 is exceptionally dangerous. It's a place where you can be incredibly creative with the entry. It looks like Gurken Demir has managed to limp back to the pits and get his fast repair, and so he's on his way out onto the track again.
Yeah, and we do see that Sammy Bridges now overtaking Chris Girondellis, and Sean Truttock is also making a move. Who isn't making a move? Let's have a quick look in the front, because we do see that Leo Oktarov and Mike Bowers are now running away with Geoffrey Decker. Geoffrey Decker has to fight to get that draft up here. It's going to take a little bit of time, but...
Yeah, and Geoffrey is being followed closely by Jeff Snavely, Michael McLeod, Peter Nodwell, and Carl Dronke. So, that's sort of a group of 5 cars behind the leaders, Leo Oftroff and Mike Bowers, and then behind them is a really tight pack for P8, currently being led by Aaron Law, and involving J.R. Hoops, Alex Othan, Max Giacomo, Benjamin Harris, Thomas Fodd, and Steve Dewar. So that's P8 through P14. A very, very tight pack. Hard to... Oh, it does look like there's some sort of...
Was there contact? It looks like everything goes fine over here.
Yeah, I think Chris Giordandelis had an off coming out of turn 11, but no damage. But he's lost quite a few positions.
And how is it going in the back with Chris Stewart? Chris Stewart is following Brian Perez, and in front of that is Matt Zepka, who are now getting into that final corner. They need to catch up to actually work together to make that back to that group. because then a top 10 is a serious situation. Well, we do see that Sammy is making a move over there. Can he make it stick? Sammy Bridges just joined over here and is making it stick, going to the inside. Look at that, is passing Scott Bell, but Scott Bell is defending quite hard. And makes it stick. Look at that. Oh, awesome race.
Yeah.
And Scott Bell back on that 18th position. Great job for him. Now he can really look forward. He has the speed. And he needs to make up 2.4 seconds to get back to the number 17, Chris Stewart. Just to make sure that everybody's updated. In the front, nothing changed. Leo Octarov still in front. Mike Bowers on the second position. And Geoffrey Decker is really losing up here. You can see that he has to look a little bit in the back. Jeff Snavely and Michael McLeod are really close in. And he's losing. He's losing time. It's 1.3 seconds.
Yeah, it does look like, in a way, it almost looks like Leo Oftroff and Mike Bowers are working together. You know, they're really drafting with each other. It's so important, especially as they come out of turn 12 here, this long downhill. If you've got a draft partner, it really, really can help you. Now, Jeff Decker with Jeff Snavely, Mike McLeod, and Peter Nodwell, you know, they are all sort of in a pack together as well. But you know, it's hard for them to catch up as long as Leo and Mike are working together.
Yeah, and then you have Carl Dronke right behind there, and then you get really to the group of Aaron Laan, Alex Alton. Alex Alton, look at that, was running in the Formula 2, is now running number 9 in the Formula 1. Sometimes you need a signal, when is it enough for Formula 2? Well, I think you got your signal if you're in the top 10. Awesome job by Alex Alton. Right behind there is JR Hoops. I see Thomas Fotos, Steven Duur.
It looks like Max DiGiacomo is making a move on JR Hoops, breaking into turn 1. Looks like he'll make that stick.
He definitely make that stick. We also see in the back that Adam Wright has made a move on Rusty Pontenberg. Not sure. Oh, Rusty Pontenberg went into the pit.
Along with Rich Butler. And so, for fans of Skippy Formula 1 who are new to us, in Skippy Formula 1, fuel is restricted, so that generally speaking, you'll need to make at least 2 pit stops for refueling. And so the first pit stop window, refueling window, is open.
Yeah, and some people are already using that. And but if you're Mike Bowers, you don't want to use that right now. You're just going to follow Leo and see where it brings you. Look at that, driving away 1.7 seconds from Geoffrey Decker already.
Yeah, in fact now I think it's stretched out to 2 seconds. So Leo and Mike, now, you know, it'll be interesting to understand as the race goes on what Mike's strategy is here. Mike's generally a very patient driver. Yeah, he might be just content to have a hot shoe like Leo as a draft partner and just stay right behind him. You know, he's going to be really happy to know that they're widening the gap back to P3 and Geoffrey Decker. Definitely, and let's go back to the fight for number 19th, because we have, or number 17 actually, we have Scott Bell, Matt Zepka and Sammy Bridge really closing in on each other. And Sammy is ready to make a move on Matt Zepka. Is he already doing that over here, or is he waiting for the next set of turns? Well, we'll see here. They're going to come into this turn 14 chicane. It's really the prime passing opportunity. It looks like everyone's going to be patient. And what we do see that in number 10th position, Alex Alton is going into the pits. So one of the earlier people that are going into the pit right now. Thomas Fotos is also one of the guys. Yes, absolutely. And Geoffrey Decker is really leading that second pack with Jeffrey Stavey and Michael Smith. So Rafa, when you were driving both Skippy Formula 2 and Skippy Formula 1, Skippy Formula 1, the number of drivers on track is so much larger. Did you have a different mindset or a different strategy for Skippy Formula 1 races versus Skippy Formula 2?
Yeah. In Formula 2, I was trying to going all out, but in SF1, I was trying to follow the first places, so I could take the draft. So I think this is a good strategy for these drivers.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was the same way, Rafa. I had to force myself to be more patient with Skippy Formula 1. Yeah.
Yeah, because there are many good drivers in this league.
Yeah.
There are many good drivers in this league, and one of them is Scott Bell. Scott Bell, driving on that 17th position, is in fighting with Sammy Bridge on Tretek, Jeff Torbeck and Kyle Reed. Right behind there is Jason Bergmeyer. That's a big pack, and after that is Adam Wright. Adam Wright really...
does look like Sammy Bridges has made a pass going into turn 11 over Matt Shupka. And so it'll be interesting to see if now Scott Bell is going to try to draft behind Matt.
And he is doing that. Take that outside line. Look at that, and there's more people doing that. Sean Tracek, Jeff Torbeck, Kyle Reed. It looks like Matt Zepka is taking the easy road.
Yeah, that was the draft train that just went all the way around. And so you see how effective that passing opportunity.
And Peter, we did see that Leo Octarov was passed by Mike Bowers, but immediately he takes that back. Look at that. Can't hold that much longer. Leo wants to take that, holds to take that lead. But then immediately when they are starting to fight, Geoffrey Decker and Jeff Snavely are coming a lot closer up here. 1.7 seconds from them. So it looks like the truth is over, and in front we are getting to see some more fights.
Well, there could be, it's possible that there's a leapfrog effect, but yeah, I think you're right. It is still a 2-second lead that Leo and Mike have over Geoffrey Decker, but it'll be interesting to see how they manage this. One of the things about Skippy Formula 1 race scoring is you do get extra bonus points for leading lots of laps. And so there is an incentive, if you're at the lead, to lead as many laps as you can, because it adds up with more bonus points.
For some people it isn't. Currently we're looking here at Andrew Cole on the 22 position. A little bit away from everybody. Don't know if he had any incidents. But this is always the difficult part when you're driving alone. You need to make sure that you don't want to be a blue flagger and make that speed.
Right. Boy, Pim, I'm watching this battle for P12 right now, being led by Chris Stewart, but hotly followed by Brian Perez, Sammy Bridges, Scott Bell, Sean Tretiak, Jeff Torbeck, Kyle Reed. We've been watching them most of the race, but they are just exchanging positions every once in a while, especially as they come, down to the end of the back straight.
Yeah, and here he goes. Sammy Bridges is looking inside of Brian Perez. Is he going to stick that, or is Brian Perez having a better exit over there? Looks a little bit like Brian Perez has the inside. Oh, no. Look at that. And Scott Bell can draft over there as well, so he can make an advantage as well.
Yeah, now here we could see a two-wide situation in the chicane. And we do.
Oh, wow, look at that. Nice move from Sammy Bridge. And immediately Scott Bell is also taking that. He's taking the... They're both going in. That's a very interesting move.
Yes.
They're getting past and immediately goes into the pit. And that means that Sammy Bridge is all by himself. Leo Octarov is also into the pit. Together with Geoffrey Decker and Jeff Snavely. And that means that Mike Bowers is driving it all by himself right now.
Yes, and he's followed by Michael McLeod and Peter Nodwell, and so that's your current P1, 2, 3, although they still all have to make their first refueling stops. So Rafa, what do you think about all this? There's too much action to keep track of, don't you think?
Yeah, man, I was watching Michael McLeod and Peter,
Yeah.
It seems Michael is taking his life in this car. he's he's racing very well, but Peter Notwell he's trying to make great moves as well.
Yeah.
I do have to say that Peter Nordwell has really moved up. Was maybe a top 10 driver, but we can see him now a lot of times getting really close to that top 5. And sometimes even on that podium. So interesting to see those two guys having a complete different line.
Yeah.
But Peter Nordwell is getting really close up here. But I don't think he's going to make that move. It doesn't need to be right now. They're going quick enough.
As they come around turn 12 here again, this starts this long back straight, and it is just one of the most draft-heavy parts of any Skippy track, and it'll be interesting.
Peter, look at the fight right behind there. We have JR Hoops and Steve Durr fighting for 6th position. Old-timers over here of SNS. And I do think that JR Hoops has a little bit more speed, so is he going to make a move over here? Big defending from Steve Durr over here.
And you can see he was trying to cover the inside line a little bit, and there they go, both into the pits.
All right, and now we see the whole group going into the pit. Mike Bowers, Michael McLeod, Peter Notwell, Carl Tronke, all in that pit. And now I'm curious about Leo Oktarov. Is he going to be a lot quicker?
Yeah.
Or is that undercut really working well?
Yeah.
Hey, and look at this, Geoffrey Decker. He's made a lot of speed on Leo Oktarov.
Yeah. It does seem like Geoffrey benefited from that first round of pit stops, and now we're going to see Mike Bowers coming out. It'll be very close. It does look like Mike is going to come out behind.
Is Geoffrey Decker going to take that? Is Geoffrey Decker going to take that? Oh, Geoffrey Decker needs to go outside. Was really doing a spectacular job, but this means that Mike Bowers is in the 2nd position. Well done.
Well, and that little battle there, really caused Geoffrey Decker to lose time, because he, I thought, was going to be closer to Leo Oftroff coming out into turn 1, but having to battle a bit with Mike Bowers coming out of the pits, I think caused him to lose time.
Yeah, I do want to have a special announcement. We see Benjamin Harris on the 1st position. I don't know if that actually happened, but look at this. He keeps on driving, and he's now currently on the 1st position with Sammy Bridge on the 2nd position and Adam Wright on 3rd. So awesome to see these guys. Yeah.
Well, and Benjamin Harris, is up 13 spots right now. Sammy Bridges is up 29 spots from where he qualified.
And of course, he didn't pit yet, but still, amazing job over here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and Adam Wright is running P3 right now. He's up 8 spots from where he qualified. He still has to pit as well, but these are hard chargers for sure. Yeah,
I think Adam was really involved in that earlier incident in lap 1. That's always really bad, but I'm glad he still drives.
Yeah. And it looks like Benjamin Harris is coming into the pits, as is Sammy Bridges.
Well, Sammy Bridges didn't lost anything on his speed. Look at that, 2nd position in his first comeback race. But immediately we see, of course, Leo Oktarov coming by very quickly. And he is running away from Geoffrey Decker. Look at that, Geoffrey Decker is in a fight with Mike Bowers, Michael McLeod, Jeff Snavely right behind there. So I think Leo is loose. Leo has pushed himself on that outlap and is now taking a 2.4 lead. That's a big gap.
It is. But boy, this battle for P2, Geoffrey Decker, Mike Bowers, Michael McLeod, Jeff Snavely, this is a really tight, close, super fast pack.
Yeah, and what do you want to do now? Because McLeod is not going to attack. He's going to wait. That's his game. You know that Geoffrey Decker needs to be quick. If he's quick, he has a chance against Leo. So you also don't want to fight too much with him. And then, of course, you have Jeff Snavely.
Yeah.
He's going to wait till the end.
All three of them, Mike Bowers, Mike McLeod, Jeff Snavely, we know that they're all very, very patient, strategic drivers. And, you know, Mike is always just willing to stay and wait patiently for his opportunity. Michael McLeod is probably thinking about fuel, you know, like how long can he do this and make a shorter second pit stop. And then Jeff, you know, we see this every week. You know, Jeff Snavely is also just willing to just wait for just the right moment to try to make a move.
Yeah, let's have a look at position number 9. We see Aaron Lyon, Alex Alton fighting it hard out over here. And right behind there, of course, JR Hoops and Steve Durr. So these are really also some night fights. Alex Alton, really 9th position.
Yeah.
Not just after a pit stop, but just regular race driving. Really nice speed over there.
Yeah, really great. And then a little further back, you know, there's Steve Durr and Benjamin Harris in a little bit of battle as they come down this long back straight.
And then you have a complete public race right behind there with Kyle Reed, Sean Treddick, Jeff Torbeck, Brian Perez, Matt Zepka, Scott Bell, and Jason Berkheimer. Look at that, there's a complete pack over here that looks like, oh, and we do see a small mistake from Jeff Torbeck, but no one's injured. Luckily they can move. And there is news on the front because we do see that Mike Bowers is passing Geoffrey Decker for that second position. So they're now starting to fight. Great move from him, taking that inside line. And Geoffrey Decker immediately tries to outdo him, but that's not going to work.
Well, now we'll see what kind of patient driver Geoffrey Decker is. Oh, it does look like there was a little bit of an off track in turn 1, but not sure what driver that is, but it looked like no real positions lost.
No, we're looking on that back group where we had that whole pack together, and Matt Zepka here taking an awesome move by Brian Perez. Take that inside line and can hold it and can just come to the front. So awesome move. But that group isn't done yet. They're fighting everywhere. Look at this. Now Brian Perez is the one that's getting attacked by Jeff Torbeck right behind him.
Yes.
And Scott Bell, of course. And oh, Jeff Torbeck is going wide over there. So great opportunity for Scott Bell to make a move. And immediately does that.
And meanwhile, Jason Berkheimer now is just now on Jeff Torbeck's gearbox.
Yeah, but he's been there for a while. He's just waiting. I'm more afraid of Adam Wright, who made his move and is also coming in over there. And then how is it with Carl Dronke?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to have a quick look at Carl Dronke. Maybe you guys can
Sure.
talk a little bit about him, because he's overtaking Peter Norville right here.
Oh boy, yeah. And you know, that again is that overtake for the hard brake before that last chicane, and beautifully done there. Very clean pass.
All right, Rafa, is Geoffrey gonna overtake Mike Bowers in here?
Could be possible. I don't know if he wants to save fuel or not. What do you think?
I don't think so. I think they need to go. Otherwise, they're losing Leo Oktarov, and I don't think they want to do that. But I'm a little
Seems
bit
like
more.
Michael McLeod seems he's not trying to attack and save fuel.
Oh, welcome to the broadcast. That's the Michael McLeod that we know. He tries to hide between everything and comes out in that last lap. And I do have to say a little bit the same with Jeff. Jeff is also not attacking as much. I do see that Geoffrey Decker is looking on that inside.
Yep. But you know, they are losing time to Leo Oftroff. They're now more than 3.6 seconds adrift of Leo, and so this is really is a perfect situation for Leo. You know, there is still, they'll all have to refuel a second time, and so a lot of things can still go wrong. But you've got to be feeling pretty good if you're Leo Oftroff right now. So, Rafa, I wanted to ask you, Rafa, when you're in these tight packs, just battling lap after lap, do you prefer to be the first car in the pack, the last car in the pack, in the middle? What's your preference?
Are you asking me in Skippy or in GT3? Because it's different for me.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah, but no, I think if I can go first, I try to go first. Yeah. Yeah, because I try to trust in the driver behind me.
Yeah. In a way,
But,
I think,
I try to be smart. If the guy in front of me faster than me, well, I'm going to benefit of his draft.
Hey, just quickly, looks like Peter Nodwell has just repassed Carl Dronke in the same spot, coming into the last chicane pin to retake P6.
Yeah, that's a nice move that you can make over there. I'm amazed how much it looks a little bit like a dive bomb that you do over there, but they make it work really nice.
Yeah, it's very hard to defend.
And is Carl doing now the same thing? No, he's gonna wait behind them.
Yeah, he might wait until they come up to that chicane again.
And what about the second place? Mike Bowers still driving over there. It seems that Geoffrey Decker is turning it down a little bit and is not going after Leo anymore. And is now saving fuel to make sure that he can have a better pit stop. Because that's what we're looking right now. What is going to be that second pit stop? Well, they slide over here in that corner. Mike Bowers ahead.
Well, now this group of four, being led right now by Mike Bowers, they are now 4.2 seconds behind Leo Oftroff. So Leo is just driving serenely and extending his lead lap after lap, which is really remarkable.
We went over to Jeff Torek and Brian Perez for that 21st position because they're going ahead here and they keep changing. Brian Perez is currently leading over Jeff Torek. Jason Berkheimer right behind there, and Adam Wright has not made a move yet. A little bit of a surprise. Oh, and we do see Brian Perez going off.
Oh.
Can hold this car, but that is a little bit bad because he will definitely lose. Well, he doesn't lose that much. Can still see Adam Wright. Maybe he can go back over here.
Yeah. I wonder if that was a misshift. That's a little bit of an odd place. Turn 6 is a really high-speed, pretty safe, high-speed third-gear corner. It's not a typical place where you would go off track like that. Maybe if you missed a shift from 4th to 3rd, that could happen. But looks like no real damage. Or did he lose a front wing? Can you tell?
I'm already moved to the next driver. Okay. I want to see Chris Stewart, who is on the 14th position, because he gets really more and more track of Benjamin Harris right in front of him. Chris Stewart, is that a relatively new driver, I have to say, or is that just me?
I think this is his first season in Sunday Night Skippy, but he's been running the full season and really showing some speed.
Yeah, he's getting really close to Benjamin Harris. And right in front of there is Steve Durr, who is driving a very, very solid race.
I'm just noticing Alex Othon has just gone into the pit lane.
All right, so he was 11th when he came in. I am really, really curious how he's going to do.
And now Thomas Fotos is also in. And Brian Perez. So I think we're going to start to see Dan Pagasi. We're going to start to see now drivers starting to make their second and final refueling stops.
Yeah, and what do you think about in the front? Because I do think that these four are really losing it on Leo Oktarov, who is just running away.
Boy, is he ever. Leo is now 4.6 seconds ahead of this group being led by Mike Bowers. So it's looking like, unless something very strange happens to Leo Oftroff, that it's really now a battle for P2 amongst Mike Bowers, Geoffrey Decker, Michael McLeod, and Jeff Snavely.
Yeah, Leo is just a different human on this track. The German influence up here. Look at that! I don't think Mike Bowers can really see him anymore. He's just immer geradeaus, gone with the wind. Leo Oftroff is, that's got to be giving a good feeling. Rafa, you've done this before, where you were a big lead ahead. How does that feel? Does that relax you, or do you need to have that tension?
Oh, a lot of tension, man. When I finished the race, I can feel my shoulders. But I have to say, I was following the first places, and they are so consistent, so solid. So I'm very impressive. But you know, all can be happening in a race. So let's see what will happen.
Oh, Geoffrey Decker and Michael McLeod have gone into the pits. And so
Yeah.
it looks like they're both going to try an undercut here.
Oh, look at this, and what is this? Geoffrey Decker nearly get passed by Michael McLeod. Michael McLeod was very eager to go a little bit quicker. Curious how they will get out, because there you can actually see what the advantage is. And Leo Oftroff is standing still.
It does look like Michael McLeod had a little bit better pit entry. It would be very interesting. We know how precisely Michael does his math on this.
We do see Scott Bell in the back also getting in, and Leo Oftroff is already away, but Michael McLeod is not making advantages. Geoffrey Decker is a little bit quicker. I am really curious about their pit stop times.
Oh, almost contact. Got contact.
Yes, that was so close.
Wow, that was really close, guys.
That was with Sean Tretiak that they met up with on the pit exit.
Yeah, and they are fighting for position, so it is possible to do that right now. But Geoffrey Decker and Michael McLeod immediately go past Sean Tretiak, and this means that Leo even further can go along. But I'm curious about Mike Bowers. What is Mike Bowers doing right now?
Yeah, Mike is he's running up, about to enter that back straight, and presumably he'll be coming into the pits this time around. And so we'll get a sense of how it will come out with respect to not only Lee Oftroff, but Geoffrey Decker and Jeff Snavely, Michael McLeod.
Yeah, Michael McLeod. What do you think about that? I'm really curious, because those guys were so close to each other. And curious to see if this is going to work for the first group. But currently Mike Bowers is he going into the pit? Yes, he is going into the pit.
Yeah.
Whoa, that was a really late pit entry. But he is driving into the pit.
That was an incredibly wide, fast entry that he made.
All right, so now
Snavely
we're going
right
to
behind him. Yep.
wait for Leo Oftroff to come by. We see Max is going in, JR is going in, Steve Durr is going to come in, then is Benjamin Harris. Benjamin Harris is coming for the second time onto the finish line, and is going to be number one.
Yep.
Look at
Leo
that.
is coming past pit entry, so Leo will comfortably maintain his lead over Mike Bowers.
Yeah, and Leo is overtaking Sam Bridges right over there, and that is for position right now. But Sammy Bridges knows that Leo is very quick, so he won't do that straight away.
It does appear, however, that Mike Bowers did make up a couple of seconds of gap to Leo Oftroff out of the second round of pit stops, and so he's looking like about 3 seconds behind Mike Bowers, 3 seconds behind Leo Oftroff at the moment.
Yeah, but he also made a move on Geoffrey Decker and Michael McLeod, because he's now a second ahead of them. And Jeff Snavely is behind Michael McLeod, so that's our top 7. And then we see Carl Dronke on the 8th position, 5 seconds behind there. And then Adam Wright already. Adam Wright in the championship, very important player.
He's made an amazing recovery, from that lap 1 incident, and so he's running in the top 10, and he's turning in low 2:18s in lap times right now. So driving fast, maybe driving angry.
Well, that does work. How does that work for you, Rafa? Angry driving. Are you going faster then?
Hey man, I was watching Michael and Geoffrey. It's a very tight race, but I am wondering if Michael will attack or not. It seems it doesn't work that technique about to save the field, but Geoffrey is trying to get a better gap. So I don't know if maybe Michael will attack. What do you think about it?
I think Michael will wait for the last lap because that's normally what he does, and I am curious what Geoffrey Decker is going to do. I do have to say that Leo Oftroff has just passed Benjamin Harris, while we do see that Sammy Bridges went into the pit. So that means that Leo is officially the number one driver again with a 2.16.9 as quickest time overall. Look at that, 2.16. Have you seen it ever?
That is a crazy lap time. Wow.
So where are the good fights? I think the most important fight is the one that we're watching right now with Mike Bowers, Geoffrey Decker and Michael McLeod and Jeff Snavely falling back a little bit. If Jeff Snavely wants to be in there, he needs to pass right now, and he is making a move on Michael McLeod. Is this, yeah, this is a little bit... Look at this. Jeff Snavely really closely by.
It seems the fight with McLeod and Jeff, it cost a little bit of time. The gap is more between Mike and Geoffrey and Michael. So it seems the fight is between Mike and Geoffrey. It's very interesting.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because you do see that those guys, Mike Bowers and Geoffrey Decker, are a little bit less fighty, and they can run away. And they can, and we do see that Mike Bowers was taking a little bit of a wide exit over there. And we do see that Snavely is going to take that inside line. He's going to make that move. We saw that already happening, and Jeff Snavely is now on that 5th position, trying to make the connection with Geoffrey Decker and Mike Bowers.
Yeah, congratulations for Jeff. It was amazing work.
Yeah, that's a great position. And what do you do now as Michael McLeod? Because you need to fight back. And while we see that, I don't want to forget about Carl Dronke and Adam Wright. Because they're fighting over there for 7th position.
You know, I'm looking all the way back. There's a battle here for P27 that I'm watching between Chris Georgiandellis and Rich Butler. And, you know, it's I'm sure neither one's having the race that they had hoped for, but they are battling hard, and they're actually making up time now up to Jake Ashe in front of them in P26.
Well, I think Rich wasn't slow in the first time. So yeah, he definitely can make up some speed over there. Jake Ashe has done his pit stop, so can't do much about that. While we do say that Benjamin Harris and Adam Wright are going back into the pit, but that will be their last pit stop. I think, if I can have a quick look. Yeah, and then basically everybody has done his pit stops. We only have 7 more minutes to go. I know that a lot of people always want to see the pit stop times, so I will put those up for people to see. You see that?
While you're doing that, I'm just back up front. Geoffrey Decker does now seem to be putting real pressure on Mike Bowers. Just you can cover the 2 cars with a reasonably sized blanket right now. They are nose to tail.
Yeah, Mike Bowers needed to go a little bit wide on that exit, but you can hear that Geoffrey is not going full wide here. So he's holding back, wants to have a good entry so he can go really fast out.
Yeah, the launch here out of that Dunlop Hairpin, you go up this hill, and you just need all of the momentum you can carry through these Schumacher S's. But then, you know, you really come after this turn 11 and 12, you really come to the most important passing opportunity, coming out of turn 12 and that long downhill back straight. It'll be interesting to see if Geoffrey makes his move.
Well, Geoffrey is really close by, but I don't think it's close enough yet. But maybe now on that little straight over there, that's gonna make he can make that move.
I'm looking at the clock. I think the next time they pass the start-finish line, there will be 2 laps left, if I'm doing the math correct.
Peter,
So-
I'm totally trusting. Oh, I see Mike Bowers nearly making a mistake over there. Can save his car, but that makes an opportunity for Geoffrey Decker. He's getting really close up here. You gotta believe that Geoffrey Decker is making that move right now on Mike Bowers.
Yeah, now I'm certain 2 laps to go. So it's crunch time for these guys.
All right, and here he goes. Geoffrey Decker takes that inside, and whoa, a lot of speed over there. Looks like Mike Bowers.
I wonder if Mike facilitated that pass.
Yeah, Mike facilitated that, and I thought he was going to do a little bit more focus on that exit, but couldn't get a good exit, and Geoffrey Decker really well in defending over there. But you do see that Jeff Snavely and Michael McLeod are getting a little bit closer.
Yes.
And then
Michael
the fight behind
McLeod.
there.
Oh. Michael McLeod is just really hounding Jeff Snavely right now. So these battles are pretty fierce.
Yeah, and then behind there we see Carl Dronke with Peter Notwell, and Peter Notwell is eating Carl Dronke right now. Is on that back really close to each other. I do want to go back to Alex Alton on the 11th position, not in the top 10, but very, very close by in it. And he is fighting for position with Sammy Bridge. Sammy Bridges, who is 19 positions up, if you talk about hard chargers.
Boy, that is really impressive, and it's just so great to see Sammy back in Skippy Formula 1.
Yeah, and immediately doing well, so that's amazing performance. JR Hoops is right in front of them, and then Max is also right over there. So this is all basically for position number 9.
Wow.
All
So
right,
now I'm back up to Geoffrey Decker and Mike Bowers. It is looking to me, if I had to guess, and maybe we'll get to talk to Mike in the interview booth after the race, that Mike is just patiently waiting until the last lap to try to make a pass right here. And this time around, I think they'll get the white flag.
Yeah, and I thought I saw Michael McLeod also making a peak, but maybe that peak was a little bit less. All right, is Mike Bowers gonna overtake it right now? Mike Bowers, you have that move. You can make that move. No, he's not making a move. He's holding back. He doesn't want to overtake right now. Really waiting for the last turns, I think. Interesting to see.
Yeah. I'm less certain now. Leo is actually turning in laps sometimes fast enough for this not to be the final lap. And so a lot depends now on how fast Leo can end the race on this lap if he's slow enough. If he slows down by, I think, if I look at it correctly, if he slows down by a second or two.
Oh, well, Mike Bowers thinks it's the last lap because he's now trying to make the moves, getting really close by.
Yeah. Leo will want to actually slow it down. He's got the cushion, but I don't know if he'll be aware.
Well, Leo can do this all night. He can just move along, no problemo for him.
Assuming he has fuel. Yeah, for people that don't know, this is a timed race. It's 45 minutes. And so when the 45-minute clock runs down to 0, then the leader gets to finish whatever lap he or she is on. And so if Leo manages to cross start-finish line before the 45-minute timer goes to 0, then that means we'll have another lap to finish the race. All right, so we're seeing Mike Bowers. He's getting a draft behind Geoffrey Decker coming down this back straight.
Is he gonna look? He's gonna look, but he's not doing it.
He's trying to get nervous.
Yeah, there will be another lap. Looks like Leo is going to start past start finish line. Yes, so Leo has been more than fast enough to extend the race by another lap.
So half the group is now thinking, no, Leo. And half the group is like, yeah, one more lap. And this is, look at this, Mike Bowers. Mike Bowers, is he going to make the move? No, it looks like he's holding in. He's holding in. And what happened to Jeff Snavely?
Oh, did we lose some people? Carl Drunke is in the pits. Now here we're going to see that some people are going to be out of fuel because people will not be expecting this extra lap in the race.
Oh no, this is Carl Drunke that went into the pit. And I do think that Jeff Snavely is also holding back because he's running out. Yes. Look at this, Michael McLeod has thought about this, and we see now this is going to take a long hit for Carl Drunke, moving up to the 15th position.
And you have to wonder who else is going to be short on fuel in this last lap.
Well, I don't think it's Mike Bowers, because Mike Bowers is now pushing Geoffrey Decker for that last position. And Geoffrey Decker holds that inside that outside line. He can defend this really well. Yeah, but I also saw a fight going on for the 8th position. JR Hoops, Max, Sammy Bridges, Alex Alton. Look at this, one big line over here as well.
All right, so as Geoffrey Decker and Mike Bowers come up through the Schumacher S's, looks like Mike has overlap coming into turn 11.
Yeah, he does, and he takes that inside line. Look at that. Wow, really great move, and he thought about that for a long time. But Geoffrey Decker has the inside line over here. This is a nice fight. Look at this. Can he hold that line? It looks like Mike Bowers has a better exit.
Now what will happen here is Mike has the better inside line coming into the chicane, but there's an over-under opportunity for Geoffrey Decker on the exit of this chicane. But it looks like Geoffrey's going to concede the position.
Well, is he? Because he looks very, very, very close, and he's going to take that inside line. He's trying to do that inside line. Look at this. He's going for it. He's going for it. He's making his move right over there. Is he going to hold it? No, he can't. Oh, that was an interesting fight with Mike Bowers on the 2nd position and Geoffrey Decker on the 3rd. Look at that. And then we see Jeff Snavely coming on the 5th. Michael McLeod was 4th. Peter Notwell 6th. JR Hoops is still running. Where is JR Hoops? He's a little bit behind.
Yeah, coming right around the last Coca-Cola turn onto the front straight.
Oh, and look at the group behind there. It's a big group. Steve Durr, Benjamin Harris, Sammy Bridges.
Yeah, Aaron Law, Max Giacomo, Alex Othon, Sammy Bridges.
And we do see some people driving very slow, so I do think the fuel was not calculated over here.
Yeah.
Interesting fight here with Carl Drunke, Jason Berkheimer. You see Thomas Fotos coming in right now. Dan Pagowski on the 23 position. After him is Brian Perez. Still trying to get in. Man, this was an interesting race. And then you see Leo Octaros' true speed. Wow, that guy is quick.
Well, and that speed, I think, ended up extending the race by a whole lap for the entire field, which I think
I don't think everybody's that happy with it. Carl Drunke had to go back into the pit, but there were more people who had troubles in the end. You saw a lot of people driving very slow. I'm curious to see if we already see some end results coming in, but it seems that not everybody's in yet.
It does look like Jeff Torbeck and Gherkin Demir, Rich Butler are sputtering on the back straight, low on fuel.
Let's see if we can pick up some last people. Brian Perez, oh, he's making love with Sammy Bridges. He's very happy that he's back on track. And here we see Gherkin Demir.
Does look like Jeff Torbeck has run
Oh,
out of
Gherkin
fuel.
Demir has made a bang on the finish.
Yeah.
That's got to be the last car that we're waiting for.
Well, and Rich Butler has run out of fuel and has asked for a tow. And so...
that's really, really unfortunate. But what an exciting race, and I do see that we have some results coming in right now. As we saw, Leo Oktarov really Hamilton style ahead of everybody else, 8.6 seconds ahead. And on Mike Bowers, Geoffrey Decker right behind there. Awesome fight till the end. And then Michael McLeod on the 4th position, because I do think that Jeff Snavely also had a trouble with his fuel. After that, Peter Notwell, JR Hoops, and Aaron Law. Look at that, Aaron Law on 8th position. Great move from him. Max on number 9. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, Alex Alton on the 10th position. Welcome into the top 10, Alex. Great job.
Well, Pim, we have our race winner, Leo Oftroff, in the broadcast booth. Leo, congratulations. What a drive.
Thank you so much.
All right, Leo, how boring was this race for you?
I mean, it wasn't boring at all. I really thought that Geoffrey or Mike was going to pip qualifying from me because I really messed up my last lap and got it disqualified. So I was just kind of sitting there waiting. I'm like, you're going to take it. And then I got lucky. Nobody was able to take it. But for the race, I mean, I really wish Geoffrey and Mike were there to fight it out with me. But I think some things might have happened, and I'm not sure. I'll have to look it back. But I mean, it was still challenging to keep it clean up front and drive as well as I could.
No, definitely.
Yeah, go ahead, Pim.
I want to ask you about you went in quite early, and then you met quite a bit of people who are still on the track, and you actually had to pass a lot of people again. How was that for you? Was that not giving a lot of stress?
No, that actually helped me out a lot. I was actually hoping that was going to happen because I needed because I'm not very good with pit stops, so I was actually kind of slow on my first pit stop going in. But the draft from the cars ahead of me helped make that up, so I was glad that they were actually there.
Oh, nice. Good.
Leo, I think the entire field might be mad at you because I think with your speed, you ended up extending this race by one more lap than I think a lot of people were calculating. I don't know if you're aware of that.
No, I had no idea.
Well, yeah. And in fact, it caught notably Carl Dronke, I think, out. He had to take a final splash and go because of that.
Oh, no.
Lap.
Well, let's have a look on Geoffrey Decker. Geoffrey Decker, welcome in the booth. You had a 3rd position. Did you have any troubles with that extra lap that we had on the end?
No, I was expecting 20. That's what we did on Friday, so it's kind of seemed like that's just what we had to be ready for.
Yeah.
And we do have Mike Bowers, our P2 finisher, also in the broadcast booth. Mike, what about you? How are you feeling about the race and about the length of the race?
Aside from being way slower than Leo, it was great.
So, Mike, tell us a little bit about the tactic that you had with Geoffrey Decker, especially on those last laps. Did you know where you were gonna pass Geoffrey?
Yeah, I had a couple ideas. The big thing was I didn't want to bring Jeff Snavely and Michael McLeod back into it, so I was happy to go along with whatever until the last lap.
Yeah, that was an awesome move.
Well, and I know Jeffrey's safe and sane and all those kind of things, and but he still raced hard. I thought he might have had a shot at me on the last corner there.
Oh, yeah.
I really wanted the inside on the chicane to get the outside for the last corner, but yeah, just the way we overlapped after that left-hander, I just kind of went for it.
All right, and
give it a try on the outside. I hadn't really tried that all week, so figured give it a go.
You know, I was actually worried because you can hold that outside, and I've done it, and not against. But here's the deal: it's completely different doing it in a pub race against guys that are, running 18.3s or whatever. When you get somebody close to equal pace, it's really tough to pull off.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to just do a switchback and see if I could get alongside for the final corner. But yeah, just got there, just not quite soon enough.
Oh yeah, Geoffrey, you definitely got there. Somebody else who got there as well is Alex Alton. Alex, welcome to the booth. You're gonna be exhausted. First Formula 1 race, had some incidents. We're not gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk here about your top 10. Congratulations.
Oh, let me see if I can unmute him. He's probably having trouble. There, Alex. You should be on.
Alex,
now.
are you there?
I'm here.
Alex, congratulations with your top 10.
Yeah, thank you. It was a close call. I gambled on pit strategy, and it worked out. I sputtered about 10 meters after the start-finish line.
Yeah, Leo did make it very exciting. He was so fast that we could actually do an extra lap, and not everybody was really looking forward to that. But luckily, you made it. Great position here in this top 10. Does that also mean that you're not going to drive anymore in the Formula 2? Because you have some serious speed, man.
Yeah, I will. I think I'm gonna hit the IR cap for Formula 2. So next season I will be strictly Formula 1, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if I'll get top 10s every week, but that's certainly a goal.
Yeah, that's definitely a goal. And, well, you will have to fight a lot more with Mike Bowers, Leo Oktarov, and Geoffrey Decker. So that's going to be a lot of fun to do that. Peter, do we have any other questions, any other things that we want to ask these guys?
I'm curious to ask Leo. Leo, to what extent were you aware of the kind of epic battle happening behind you? Between Geoffrey and Mike and Jeff and Michael. That was going on behind you. Did you have any awareness of what was going on there?
Yeah, after the first pit stop, I was more aware of it then. But it was it was too exciting to watch, so I tried to look ahead because I was looking back the entire time. It's like, what's happening?
Well, then you have to watch the replay or watch our broadcast. Then you can see all the latest things, because there was an epic battle between Mike Bowers and Geoffrey Decker. But I have to say, Michael McLeod and Jeff Snavely were there to make sure that you guys had the speed, otherwise they would take over. So it was a very great fight up here. We had a lot of fun.
Just want to say congrats to Leo. He slaughtered us this week. It wasn't even close, and it was really fun, Geoffrey, and a nice top 10 there, Alex.
Yeah, congrats,
thanks,
man.
Mike.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Well,
All
congratulations to all of you. You all put on really a great show, and it's also just a real clinic on how to drive and race in iRacing and these Skippies. It was beautiful to watch, seriously, from all of you.
No, it was definitely
thanks,
great job. Any shout outs you guys have for anybody? I know we're asking a lot of time from our family and friends. Anything you wanna give a shout out to?
Just a big thanks to my wife for always letting me do these. She's the MVP there for sure.
All right.
Ditto
Well,
that for mine and Jeffrey's.
all right. Well, guys, I want to thank you all very much for watching another race up here. Exciting. We're gonna start next Sunday again with our Formula 2. For now, I wish you a very good end of the weekend and a very good week.
Cheers, guys.
See
Thanks
you.
so much.
Bye bye.
Cheers.